wash my soul in the ocean, in the tears of God, I let it go.
Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising, July 2020. We're starting with an eclipse, Scorpio, in your third house. Lunar eclipse, the last eclipse in your third house, which means that Saturn is coming back into your third house till the end of the year. And this eclipse, usually the lunar eclipse, affects you for the next 3 to 6 months. So the events that are happening now in July, Saturn coming back to your third house, eclipse there, is the final push where you can make big changes in regards to this house. Usually to complete something from the past or to really implement some old skill. Third house is skill. Or really implement some skill or knowledge that you've been learning for some time. And to do a bit more hard work to understand it fully, to learn it fully, or to complete some commercial project or a project a project connected with working in a small group environment with others, with the teammates, workmates, But there will be pressure, Saturn being there. It indicates that you really have to do the hard work, but Jupiter is also helping there in the third house for things to happen well. And the eclipse is saying, okay, it's high time. There's no moving around. You complete that project. It might be administrative business, anything connected to learning new skills or continuing to learn new skills. So it might mean that you have to catch up on an old project because Saturn is retrograde, moving back into your third house that you've left behind, and you have to now complete it, improve it, fix it somehow. Third house is also relationships with siblings, with relatives, with teammates, with workmates. There might be some crisis there initially in July with such people that you meet on the internet, or people that people in your everyday environment, mates of any sorts, relatives, neighbors. So there might be the final 4 or 5 months ahead of you where you can work on those relationships, when you can address some problems there, and hopefully after that you'll be free from responsibilities and duties or complicated situations with such people. But you can achieve something great there. Plus, third house is your ability to communicate, to express yourself verbally. So some of you, it can mean some projects connected to writing, to speaking, to short traveling, to business, to administrative work, to paperwork of any sorts will need to be completed, will need to be paid more attention on, and improved upon. And that's not only in July. It continue in July is very strong, but it will continue until the end of the year. And it's also, if you have any inadequacies connected to your intelligence, connected to being heard in a team, you have the last chance to clear those up. And often when Saturn transits the third house, people, and with eclipses there, people kind of try to put more order, to crystallize their thoughts, to organize their daily environment in a better way, to organize their information, but also to organize to learn to communicate in more practical ways, and to learn to overcome their fear of being hurt. I know many Scorpios might have had problems in the last 2 years, feeling like maybe they are not heard in a small group environment or in the office or whatever, or or maybe even kind of disconnecting a bit from people and daily communications because you feel they're superficial, and this thing is coming a little bit back again for a few months to be worked through. And third house is vehicles, transportation, having to work or fix some problems there. If you've been having problems with computers, or Saturn comes back again, so be careful with those matters. Trips, short trips, again, usually trips connected to work, or even relationships connected to work fare well when Saturn is in the third house, but search for pleasure and enjoyment, they feel trivial, they feel kind of superficial to some extent, and you've been noticing this for a year or two at least. and Saturn's coming back, continues this trend for a little bit. But definitely it's teaching you who you allow yourself to associate with close. You might even want to trim off uh, some of your social media presence when Saturn is in the third house. And with an eclipse there, moon eclipse, which is to let go, to release something that is no longer serving you. So you might be letting go of relationships with siblings, with relatives, if they're getting too much on your nerves, or if they're not constructive enough for you, if they played out their role, or even relationships with mates, with workmates, restructuring all that environment there. And talking about eclipses, Victor is making a 12-week course, 3 months on the moon. Anything that the moon represents in the horoscope, it is foundational. Its positions in houses, in aspects, eclipses, how to predict with eclipses, how to predict what the eclipse will give to you or take from you. What it all means, everything about the moon, parenthood, emotional well-being, health, even material stability, they're all ruled, and personal happiness in life, they're all ruled by the moon. So check it out. It's you can pay in installments. But then all this activity that's happening in July for you, Scorpio, in the third house, like busy around, sorting documents, communicating, learning skill, working on project, marketing, advertising, media project if you have to complete some, they're coming back, associations with others, working in small group activity, maybe some tensions with siblings and relatives and whatever, or activities with them. Well, all of this is also opposed by planets in your ninth house. So here, this is the third house is full, and there's your ninth house is full. I'm missing the sun, but it's the sun, and Mercury is there. So it is about the ninth house is about. So there will be opposition the whole month. There are oppositions between third and ninth houses. Well, third house is other people's opinion. Ninth house is your opinion. So you might feel like a pull and push between your opinions and other opinions. And again, that's why might be the result that you want to remove some people from your life this July, especially till the middle of July, because Mercury is retrograde in your ninth house. You're re-examining your belief system. There might be some arguments connected to belief systems or political, or how you interpret reality around you. And you're not afraid to state it. You're bringing it up. You're bringing painful topics about diverging belief systems. You might be even preaching in that direction. And that creates a clash with other people in your environment, in this push and pull. So either you have to find a compromise or just remove yourself from certain people in life that are clashing with your belief systems currently. And Mercury is being retrograde in your ninth house till the middle of the month. So if you're trying to arrange some documents about foreign travel, about import-export, about university acceptance or courses, or some kind of teaching projects or learning project of any sort, or some, ninth house, foreign countries, documents, legal documents of any sorts, or documents connected to foreign countries or legalization status in foreign countries. They might be delayed, or they might need extra energy and focus and 3 times more efforts till the middle of the month. And after that, when Mercury starts moving direct, they start resolving, such problems start resolving and improving. And the ninth house is known to be also father figures, so sometimes, and mentors and teachers. So sometimes Mercury retrograde there can create some crisis with mentor, teacher, or father figures for a bit, until Mercury starts moving direct, and then things become according to plan, and you can sort out the disagreements. Or you might need to renegotiate certain foreign deals, for example, on Mercury is retrograde, or educational. You might re-examine what you want to study, and re-examine the direction of your, you might decide to pre-qualify while Mercury is still retrograde, because you're examining, do I need extra studies or something, or do I need to change direction of study? And when Mercury starts moving direct, you might start going in that direction. And then Mars, the most important. This July, Mars, the planet that rules you, enters your sixth house and will stay there for the next 6 months. The last time this happened was 1988. If you remember then, or if you're conscious enough to have conscious choices, if you're old enough to have conscious choices, maybe look back what happened then. But it's almost like once in a lifetime opportunity to sort out your health. Mars loves being in the sixth house. Mars fights a battle. The sixth house is a house of a battleground as well. And the sixth house is, for example, our enemies according to Vedic astrology. And they say that when Mars transits in the sixth house, you can win over your enemies. But it entails a battle, though. So you're not going to go without the battle. Sixth house is animosity, criticism. You can notice that critical tendencies in you are increasing, but so are those of others around, especially people that you work with working environment, people that you have duties and responsibilities to. But also you can really become like a workforce for the next 6 months and achieve some feats in your work environment. The sixth house is work. You can be like this employee that everyone hates because he's taking 3 times as much work and getting it done twice as fast. This is the Mars scenario. So you can just undertake some really important work project that totally transforms, and that you never had the courage or strength or drive or motivation before to do. So it might, for some of you, might even be a big rehaul of your work and your working environment. But the peak will be September, October, November, and that's when you have to maybe work extra hard on some project, burn the midnight oil as they call it. But from July you might start seeing what this is, what kind of project that might be. But you have to be careful that what can happen is that your environment, especially in your office or at work, can become more toxic, more poisonous, more, Mars can be spiky, and you might even become more meddlesome with especially with people. If you have employees, there might be a possibility of fights with employees more often, or if you're employed yourself, as I said, it can indicate much more work, but also a possibility of fight with other or creating something that requires a lot of focus and energy with your work team, for example. But also another positive thing of Mars in the sixth house is that can make you ruthless towards solving bad habits. Sixth house is any chemical attachments. For example, you might be able to stop antidepressants over the next 6 months because Mars gives willpower. You might be able to tackle some health problem ruthlessly. Maybe your back is you might be having, for example, high blood pressure or something, and Mars there allows you to really, like a soldier, because Mars is the soldier, become very focused on the mission to bring down your blood pressure, to start eating the right foods, to start exercising. Mars in the sixth house exercises for health. So that's a unique opportunity to restructure your health over the next 6 months, to put with the willpower that you never had before. But also on the negative side, Mars can instigate health issues. Gradually start noticing, from July onwards, if some flare-up conditions are coming, especially such that inflammatory pains and aches around the body, they will come from some inflammation. And such can start, of course, what does overcome inflammation? It's change of the diet, supplements, food, clean food, removing, especially inflammation gets very worse through dairy, through gluten, and through, I'm not going to give you nutrition class, but just what I've read from the medical medium, and it does work. Every time I have inflammation, I stop those products and they go away. But yes, be careful and these are illnesses that come sudden onset. It's Mars. That is kind of comes, inflames you, and viral ones. So you have to work on your health for the next 6 months, Scorpios. And Mars gives you a unique opportunity to take your health in your hands and to address the enemy, the sixth house, like whether it's a virus, bacteria, or unhealthy habits. You'll never again in 30, 40 years will have as much willpower to do that. Well, maybe you will. I don't know your horoscope personally, but that's very unique and rare opportunity. And also that's a great opportunity to get things done that you haven't finished with your work, with fixing problems. There might be problems around the house or whatever that requires physical, actual energy, which is Aries. It's also the one of the houses of legislate court cases and such things. So you might be fighting some battle there, or you might be fighting for the underprivileged. The sixth house is those in problems, those the poor, the sick, prostitutes, victims of any sorts. You might be fighting a battle for them. It depends, it can manifest in so many different levels. Or you might be fighting a battle with your own enemies, internal or external somehow, and you win. Mars in the sixth house tends to win. And of course, there, always different possibilities, but there is a lot more things that Mars, the sixth house, signifies, like debt. You might decide to tackle on a debt and really mobilize all your energy and resources and focus to finish a debt of yours towards someone else, or a debt, financial debt. But by the way, I'm making a webinar, my first one in 2 years, solo one, about Mars retrograde. It's on the 1st of July. It's only $39. You receive with it 6 months of all your transits, about 600 transits on the transit calendar, which usually costs $15. And just for $39, you get this plus a 5-hour lecture which speaks specifically how Mars will affect you. We're going to look through all the transit Mars can do according to your chart, all the possible interpretations, how to prepare, what to do. It's going to be very personal webinar, not just some random astrology, not just some theoretical astrology, very practical life one. And so I'm very excited. Do check the link below. It's discounted till the 1st of July. If you can't watch it live, you can watch the recording after that. Let's tackle that. And for you, it's very important, Scorpio, because Mars rules you. Wherever Mars goes, you go. The sixth house, we'll have to see how it's going to affect you, but if it's going to influence planets in your horoscope as well. So there we go. Thank you so much. Oh, forgot to say, Venus is in your 8th house the whole month. It's a good planet. It's not giving you stress. Where good things can come to you from the 8th house. So you might really enjoy researching conspiracy theories, diving into astrology, learning it, studying psychology text. You might really enjoy and feel like a safe refuge, some intimacy, some reading some tantra, sexual literature, watching some taboo conspiracy things, or it can indicate that you just have more intimacy this month with a partner, or even some hidden love. 8th house is hidden, Venus is love, and hidden money can come to you. It can mean that you have some good refund from other, or rebate from taxes or whatever, or it can mean that you can receive some money from another, money that's owed to you, money that a help and support from another. Maybe your partner can give you a present, someone, or maybe you need some resources. You can ask another and you'll receive it this month. Or maybe you need someone to help you with something. 8th house is what you can receive from others. Support, mental, psychological, emotional, and material. So if you want to apply for a loan now, might be a good time while Venus is in your 8th house. If you want to lower your taxes somehow, you can find a good accountant now to help you with that. Or some good door, to hide money in the law, or to get more from what you've worked, because I consider taxes a little bit criminal. They never existed till the Civil War. They were imposed because of the wars after that, but doesn't matter. But we still all have to pay them. But also, Venus in the 9th house, more intimacy. Yeah, I think we mentioned everything. Pleasures from secrets, private. If you want to have some really pleasurable activities, it needs to be somewhere hidden, somewhere secluded, somewhere more sexual, that's more intimate. You might have some deep, intimate conversations about opening your soul and heart to another, feel much closer to another than in a long time. All right, there you go. And as I said, you can receive something from another, help, support. So, interesting month, guys. Hope you enjoy that one. If you'd like to check your transits for free, I have my transit calendar. It's being used by 40,000 people around the world for free. It shows you 7 days ahead, 5 to 7 days ahead of your personal transits that no one else in the world has at the same time with you. Check out that video that my brother did for me for the transit calendar. Bye.